Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. So, today we're going to discuss the four most important spiritual cleanses that you need to take care of regularly. And before I get into that, I want to make sure you know that we have here YouTube. So, go ahead and click subscribe. Go ahead and click like, thumbs up on the channel. And we also have a podcast, Papa Hector Salva, which could be found on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor.fm, as well as the blog at hectorsalva.com, where you'll find our newsletter, which you can sign up for. Check me out on Instagram at Hungan Hector, as well as on Facebook. So, getting into the four most important spiritual cleanses that you need to do regularly. So, first and foremost, most important is yourself. So, you need to be taking proper spiritual care of yourself in order to be clean and clear so that you can do any of the other spiritual cleanses that you're going to do. And sometimes when you're cleansing other things, you may need to cleanse yourself again afterwards. When it comes to yourself, there's layers of cleanses that need to go on that are very important. And so there's daily cleanses that need to happen, just like you daily wash your body. There's daily spiritual practices that should be going on, the equivalent of a spiritual bath, not an actual spiritual bath, which is what many people may try to do. Spiritual baths are important in self-cleansing, but that is done in a certain way. So there's daily cleansing, there's monthly, and then every so often. I'll probably do another video on that. The second most important thing that you need to keep cleansed is your home and your environment. You can't outrun a dirty environment. It's very important to understand is that you can't outrun a dirty environment. If, like my grandmother say, don't jump in the mud and expect to come out clean. If you're in a dirty environment and regularly, especially if you're regularly in a dirty environment, you need to cleanse more regularly and cleanse that environment. Cleansing your environment ensures that you have a place that's a foundation that's positive, that supports you and your growth and your progression. And there's many ways that an environment can be cleansed. A lot of people like to use sage. So maybe I'll do another video about that as far as what I have to say about sage and how that works. But spiritually cleansing your environment ensures good positive energy in a place that supports you and your growth and your development. Not only that, but it also helps to keep the others in that environment clear as well. And remember that your environment is going to be affected by the people that are come in and out of that environment on the regular, as well as the environment itself. I'm not going to get too much into this, but basically one major thing is keeping your space clear and uncluttered. Open space is one kind of really right off the bat physical thing that you could go ahead and do just to start kind of like getting yourself on track. What I also want to mention in this point in the video is that on the podcast at which you can subscribe to, which you can find on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor.fm, I'll go into each one of these topics more in depth because I understand YouTube videos are supposed to be shorter. So I'll go into each of these topics likely at some point more in depth. And as always, make sure that you leave some comments. Let me know what you want to hear about and what you want to talk about. Number 3, I have a little list here to remind myself everything that you need for yourself is your vehicle. You want to spiritually cleanse your vehicle. If you don't drive, then number 3 is off the list for you. But spiritually cleanse your vehicle because it's the modes of you getting back and forth. And like all things, you wash your car physically, so cleansing it spiritually is a good idea. And number 4 is your family. So your family is the people that you're constantly living with and you're constantly around. The more of you that can be on the same page, on the same path, spiritually clean and clear, and supporting that home environment that's spiritually clean and clear, the more positivity and good things for everyone in that space and that family at large. Now, in our traditions, unfortunately, many people don't teach their children enough. We need to start teaching our children more about spiritually cleansing and having a good spiritual foundation, because they are the future. So keeping one's household as cleansed as much as possible, as well as encouraging people on the path and getting your family on the path, also keeps things nice and good and kind of smoother in your life. Spiritual cleansing is really important. When people think of spiritual cleansing, oftentimes they only think of spiritual baths or those certain practices of spiritual cleanses that we have. But spiritual cleansing actually happens in layers, and each one of the layers has to become clean and cleared. So it's really important to know how to do this. And this is somewhere where your teacher, your spiritual mentor teacher, comes into play. We teach people all over the world how to do this. And keep yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually clean and clear. You have to keep all of those levels clean and clear. There's certain practices that we have in our traditions and our teachings that basically allow that to occur. So I hope this video has helped you, and God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe, check out the podcast, check me out on IG at Hungan Hector, check me out on Facebook, as well as hectorsalva.com. God bless. Keep the faith.